My name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and this is the second to tape I've just done about mind control, and the Oscar Pistorius and his brother Carl. Now they've used that. He's on a ventilator, they're saying, and these are mind control has been used on both of them. Um, this is a decent man, Carl. I mean, well, Carl is too, I'm sure. As is Oscar, the Blade Runner. It's so sad what's happening to him and to his brother. I'm going to show you just the patterns. I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 41. I was born in 39. This is me. My real name is Margaret Ann Windsor, heir to the British Crown. I'm Victoria II. My father is Edward VIII, and I usually have his picture here. I don't write at the moment, but I'm going to show you the birth certificates, and you have to have the database, the synchronicity, and timeline and stuff to put the patterns together. But this is the name they gave me, Peggy Ann Dempsey. Let me remind you that I've made these statements about Oscar Pistorius and the mind control murders and Emory University and the Center for Disease Control on prior tapes like months and months ago, and I told about not Oscar Pistorius, but back when I did the book, and I've taken the press crawled almost to tell about it, and it's controlled by the Rockefellers and Rothschilds that helped kidnap me. Now this is the name they gave me, Peggy. My name's Victoria Margaret. Victoria II. And both twins I found out in late 83 were murdered when I found out about my real name. This is the birth certificate for Peggy, and remember she's dead and I have to use it. I mean, you talk about convoluted and nobody will touch it. The birth date was wrong, and they wrote in January over it, and this is illegal, and they left '08. Now, Lina Dempsey was the mother. They were born out of wedlock, and she killed them, and the family covered it up. Now then, this is Carl Preston, the twin, to Peggy, and that's where you're getting the Carl on Oscar's brother's name, Carl, but there's more to the patterns, and yes, his programming used in both. Anyway, that's the birth certificate, death certificate for him that was redone by the state. How's that? When I began getting all this is the birth certificate. And here, I don't have all that. This is a copy. They marked through again and put January, I guess, the 7th, and looks like, well, all of it's illegal. I think they put 39 on that one. But this is Elizabeth, who's illegal, her and her brood. Her father, George II, illegal, helped kidnap me, take out his own brother with Joe Kennedy, who was ambassador appointed by Roosevelt, till he was kicked out. And there was 99-year seal put on my father's forced and illegal abdication and my birth. I was born in 39, and there's a attachment, addendum to that forced illegal abdication that is legal, and it's me that's the Queen Victoria II. Elizabeth's illegal, and they should be tried for war crimes, and the seal taken off so you can all see it. But I'm not even on the genealogy. It lists Wallace Simpson buried my father, which is a lie. My father was married to, not to this, I have a good name for, American Spy. She married a double. That's a double. Now, they did all this, and they've gotten away with it. My mother, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, is sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe, born in Madison, Wisconsin. This is my mother that married King Edward VIII. And this is Georgia, and this is the O'Keefe genealogy. And this is the people that stole it. And he even had, this is Elizabeth, and this is, looks good, right? Let's you understand that they sold out the country, and they did all this illegal act, and they're being rewarded for it. They're living off of my money, and they even named the little baby George after George VI, her father that helped kidnap his own niece and the monarch and helped take down his brother. Let me remind you, my father was only married the one time to my mom, not to this American whore. Spy. Oh, excuse me, that. I hope that doesn't get bleeped, because there's no words for them. Now then, I don't know. Did I get it all on here? I doubt it. I wrote about the mind control murders, the Center for Disease Control, back in when I was writing the book and trying to get it published. I had, and this is on prior tapes, and I've told it back since then, so it's nothing new. I'll just put it on here now. The Center for Disease Control out of Atlanta, where they're taking the Ebola victims. Do they work for you, or did they start it all in South Africa? Belonged, or a lot of it, Africa, to Great Britain. And when they kidnapped me, go back and see what fell into the hands of the Americans and the Rothschilds and Rockefellers and Kennedys. So I put all that on there. I put in there about a doctor who was head of psychiatry at law, Jonas Robicher. He was a psychiatrist. He wrote extensively for Lippincott books, and he mentioned my book cases in one of his books before he was murdered. After he left, his wife Jan became an honorary out there and had an office at Emory, and then former President Carter became, I guess, law there, taking over part of what Robicher had. But I wrote about murders at Piedmont Hospital and Warren and Rosina Matthews, and right after I updated and just to document it about the Center for Disease Control about, 4 or 5 months ago, suddenly the two things about the CDC came up about mishandling of things there. And I guess, I don't know what else I need to, I don't have the picture of my father here. I thought I did. Just going to show that. And there was one other thing I wanted to show, and I have no idea where I put it, because the phone call, first of all, kind of got me. But, oh, here it is. Excuse me if you care to walk in my shoes. I ain't hard to walk anymore. I'm only 75, but I wanted to do this. This is my father, though, before this goes off, and it's about to go off. The real King Edward VIII. Not the imposter. And this is George VI, his lovely brother, Elizabeth's father, who's illegal. And this is 39, planning my kidnapping. I was born in 39 with Roosevelt. And I want to show this. This is my son, Mark and Scott. Well, I don't know if they're alive or dead. I have to hope they're alive. This is an old photo. Mark's heir after me. Now, part of the patterns, this is Tucson, Arizona, Gabby Gifford, who was a congresswoman, and this is Mark Kelly, her husband, a twin to Scott Kelly, and they're both astronauts. They're twins. So there's more to those patterns, too. I wanted to mention, though, this also. This is biochips by Tex Mars. The name of it's Project Lucid. And it's Timothy McVeigh, who always said that the U.S. put a chip up him. They put him to death. And I wonder if you don't care about me or you don't care about the Brits or Germans, some Americans have tried to help, but most of them just want it shut up and be dead. They made my life hell. But maybe you better wonder about the veterans that are in veterans hospitals and being treated for mental illness, because mind control has nothing to do with mental illness. Anyway, that's food for thought. And this is William, who named his kid George.